have this generated debate.
How are we gonna reach? How are we gonna reach to those guys?
That's what I'm saying. If we can generate this on social media, then we can get the way ourselves can go back to our own spaces, back down there. How can I go to Siaya and get my former schoolmates in Agoroyombe, sit down with them and discuss the same? I read this debate.
But
it's possible.
Do it as young people.
That's what I'm saying.
We have to go back to our shacks,
talk
to our colleagues, talk to our friends, and transform them.
That's a fact. Yeah. That's a fact. I'm telling you one thing that kills this country is that I think tumeteseka sana as young people. Tunapenda tukikumbuka ushago tunaona mateso. We don't want to go back. You
just want to stay.
We just want to be in town, live a flashy life, and you don't want to go. But you forget one thing. One day, one time, you need to go back there. In whatever circumstance, you have to go back there. So I think it is high time that we made that life for the people down there.
Alafu, another thing we need to know is like, maybe we're wasting is on a politician.
Yeah.
But the majority of our friends can be influenced and manipulated by these politicians.
Yes.
So we need to take charge. Every young person, talk to your friends, talk to everyone. Let's make this change. Let us vote right come the next elections. And I need to tell you something, Roy. I did this survey on my Facebook account of my friends, and I was checking. There's that thing on Facebook, that political views.
Yeah.
And I saw, guys are so averse. They don't want to know. Some are saying politics is dirty. Others saying politics is a dirty game. Others saying they're even using the F word on politics.
Mm-hmm.
But even guys who work, like the middle income, guys, young professionals are working, they don't want to engage in politics.
Yeah.
One thing I think we need to know as young people, that politics affect us directly.
Everything is politics, man.
Everything is politics.
Everything is politics.
If you're working, if we make our economy better, you're going to have a salary increase.
If you know that politics is everything,
everything is affecting us. But we don't want to engage in politics.
Let me tell you, if you want to know that politics is everything, budgets are read in parliament. World over. And it's a budget. It's supposed to tell you that we are going to use 1 million to do this. It's read in parliament. That's how politics is. Politics is everything. I think for a very long time, we were brought up as the young people in a cocoon that we were told that, you know what, you will never make it to politics. You'll never make it to politics. Politics is this. We were fed by all the negatives of politics. And being what our politicians are doing and the lives they're leading and everything that's going on, we tend to have picked up that. But again, as a young people, we are the same guys who come back and say, mazuna jani aje. System ni mbaya hapa. Hii story sasa ama politician wanatuchezea yani.
And we do nothing about it.
We just want to talk about it. We talk about it. We don't have ID cards. We talk about politics and complain about how bad it is. We don't have voters cards. And I think what we need to do as young people, kuna mtu hapo hivyo mtaa yenu ambaye amelead sana ma youth kwa stories za tuseme kucollect garbage, leadership yake mnaona kama kuna kashida hapo hivyo mtaani mnaona anajisaidia sana, he gets involved and you believe he's a true leader. Don't wait for another person to come and tell you they are leaders, because he's there. I'm going to show you quality. Let's force the people we want to lead us into power. If you feel like Roy has done a lot of things, ameshikwa juu ya kuongea kuhusu corruption in the film industry, you feel that so and so was beaten by the police because he stood up to them when they came to do what at the National Theatre, and you feel like, you know what, this guy has done so much for our industry, we need him in a position of power, vote me in. And that is how I'm going to be accountable to you. So I think as young people, we need to identify the kind of leaders we need from amongst ourselves, then force them. Force them.
Even the guy who doesn't have the guts to run, we tell them, you know what? You have to go there and serve us.
Force them. And I'm going to say this. I know it's far-fetched, but it's there. Barack Obama until 2004 never wanted to be the president of the US. All he wanted was to be the senator in Illinois. That's what he wanted to be. That's what he was. But after the Denver conference, where he made that speech, the gear shifted. And I said, you know what, we need a fresh face. We need someone who can do something differently. He didn't have the money. He didn't have the money, he didn't have everything. But you know what? Because the people who were with him in the Democratic Party saw that he actually brought something new and he stood for something different, they forced him into vying. And he did vie. And he didn't even use his money. Guys contributed money for him because they sent him. And as much as he's not achieved everything he wanted to achieve for the Americans, but he's done quite a good number of things that the Americans wanted.
You've mentioned a very good point. You have brought the Democratic Party.
Yes.
And it's very much a good point of political parties in Kenya. Right now, I don't know, we're having the registration is still going on.
Yeah.
No, I think there's some
46 parties, yeah.
What do you think about our party system in Kenya? As a young person, that is.
Parties in Kenya are just that. Properties, no, not parties, they're properties. We don't have parties in Kenya, we have properties.
We don't have serious parties in Kenya.
We don't have parties in Kenya. The only thing that came near being a party was KANU. Because being an independent party, it had a little bit of structures until now it came and became read by our former President Moi. What we have in Kenya today are properties. I feel like Mimi na Wilson ni mabeshte and we are in KANU and KANU is not working for us. Let's go form our own party. So we form our own party, we get the euphoria, oh, KANU is bad, blah, 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 blah.
Young People's Party.
Young People's Party. They realize that, Young People's Party, we realize that, oh, you know, a few people have come on board, they've given us money, and Wilson is saying the money. I said to, Wilson is not doing things right. I go there with Roy's People's Party, so it's RRR, you know. Hey, Roy's, hey. Someone who will bring on board also will move on. So we end up having properties in the name of parties. And that's why you find like, and I'm going to say this. I'm sorry to say, I'm going to call names now.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm going to call names now. No, names of parties. Okay. Yeah. You'll find that things like ODM, if you go and try to question the status quo in ODM, you'll be thrown out.
Are you sure about that?
I'm very sure about that. If you go to URP, for example, if you go and question the leadership of URP now, you'll be thrown out. Go to UDF now. If you read them, so it's because this is a property for someone. I've never seen someone in this country who started a political party and left it for other people. Yeah, I've never seen someone who started a political party and said, you know what, these are my ideologies, these are the things that I want in this political party, this is it, and you know what, you good, you want to come on board, kuja. And then they'll take a back seat and let you become the presidential candidate. Everyone who starts a political party in this country, number one, they want to be presidential candidate. So that's why it means it's their personal property.
So you're saying we are still far away from having institutions like the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, Labour Party, Conservative, all these parties. It's very difficult.
We are
but
far
I think
away.
we are going there. The new constitution has the regulations.
The new constitution has regulations
on how political parties will be managed and stuff.
But you know what? That's already being fought. You live in Kenya. That's already being fought by parliamentarians. So that's what I'm saying again. Unless we get people who have the new constitution at heart.
Because you know me, I've been looking forward. Like there are solid political parties. It's an institution. I'm not joining it because it's being led by a certain personality.
Exactly.
But I'm joining that party because the ideology, the ideas that I stand for, I see, hey, by then my interest will be catered for this party.
How do you explain someone? How do you explain someone in Kenya being a member of 3 political parties in a span of 3 months? You come from ODM, go to this party. Oh, Wrangles in this party. The next thing, we're from party yetu. In yetu. So what do you believe in? Because believe me, what, for example, ODM believes in is far much different from what URP believes in. But you can't tell me that you leave ODM to go and join URP, then within 1 month, you are going to form your own party. What is it?
Because you're not being led by ideology.
Yes.
What is leading you is, I think it's a
self-interest.
Self-interest. And it's all about power.
Yeah, it's about power, yeah.
Yes, I agree. Like in politics, political parties are formed
to
take power, control of government.
Yes.
But one thing, you're taking control of government and power so that you can serve the people who elected you.
Exactly.
But now in Kenya, I don't know, I don't understand. But right now, I've not seen a single manifesto.
Yes.
Of any party.
Yes.
You know, we have had 5 years. Since we started the Grand Coalition, we knew what the ambitious
Which
people.
did not even have a manifesto.
Yeah. So we knew like someone somewhere will vie for presidency come 2012. This and this, they have interest because we know the ambitious politicians.
Yeah.
But my question is, for these 4 years, haven't you sat down and created a policy paper for Kenya, a manifesto? Because now what I'm seeing is they are telling us we are working on a manifesto. I know that now what's happening, many of them, they have locked in some professor somewhere, researchers, just spinning up information. Then they'll come, my government will do infrastructure projects, will do health, school, will do youth projects, this and this. So my question, all these 4 years, why haven't you, and I'm asking this to party leaders, if you know you lead a party, for the 4 years you thought about you're gonna run in 2012, why haven't you come with a manifesto? Because we needed that document before a long time, so that we scrutinize and know this is the policy for this party, this is what this party will do. But now what they want to do is come up with the manifesto the last minute. Then everyone will be excited. Hey, umesikia hii chama imesema itafanya hivi. Umesikia hii chama juu imesema itafanya hivi. Confusion around, and then guys make the mistakes and vote for the wrong people.
It's called the power of ignorance. Or people want to call it a better name and say it's a divide and rule. It's simple, it's power of ignorance. I would so much wish that one time, it takes a whole year. It takes a whole year in the US for you to get nomination for a party ticket as a president. All the caucuses, everything, all the primaries. If someone says, today I want to vie for president in the US, it's going to be a whole year for him to actually get the ticket to become a candidate, not become a president, become a candidate. Then he has to spend another like 7 months now to convince everyone else that he can actually lead.
In Kenya, it takes you.
In Kenya,
one meeting.
In Kenya, it takes you. It takes not even one night meeting. It takes you a press conference and a rally and say, "Hata mimi nimetosha," and you'll be president. You get.
You declare yourself.
You declare yourself president, and you'll be president.
And you say, "I'm gonna vie for president."
Yes.
Because I believe I can do this and this.
The reason for this is in the US and other developed countries, this 1 year, you convince your party members.
Not even the public.
No, your party members.
That unaweza.
That unaweza. You sell them your manifesto. You make them believe in you.
So you have to have a manifesto.
Yes.
Convince the party members.
Yes. Yes. Then when you come and you've gotten the ticket, then now you have to share your manifesto and your party's manifesto. Remember, in your party, you know your party's manifesto.
Yeah.
You know what your party wants. You know what your party stands for, right? So when you are going out there, you're going to tell people about what you want to incorporate in the party's manifesto.
Make the country better.
Yeah. So after you've got that, is now when you go out there and tell people about your manifesto and your party's manifesto. And that's where now they bank their vote for the national vote. In Kenya, they know that one thing is that politicians have really done. They've decided that never ever let a Kenyan privy to information. Never ever have a Kenyan to be someone who has some right to information. Because you know that if you have information, you'll question. And when you question, they want. So what they want to do is, you want to see, and this is serious, in the last 3 months, we've had like 7 political parties launched, mega launches, millions of shillings. They're all in a span of 3 months. This weekend, someone's launching, someone's launching, someone's launching. So that at the end of it all, as a Kenyan who is undecided on which party you want to support, you're going to get confused among the 7. And that's when time you now start up thinking about, by the way, sina nini natoka kwetu na yeye ako kwa hii party. Nimpige kura. Now, the same thing they're going to do with their manifestos. They are all going to launch their manifestos Oh, so this is what is happening now. You know, they launched the parties now. They did. That's done. Now, in the last 2 weeks,
Going around.
they've been going around, but now they come back to now launch their secretariats and their websites and everything. So it's going to be a wave of launching of secretariats. They're going to launch offices, you know, and blah blah blah.
We are in social media.
Yeah.
We have a website. Everything. All
Yes.
this running around.
So that you,
Confusing
as a
people.
young Kenyan, can start running to that place because you know that is where the offices are. Then when that is done, they'll come and now want to launch the manifestos. Number one, they'll come, they'll launch manifestos, they'll promise how they're gonna give you copies, you'll never see copies. They'll read them on national TV and you'll feel like today someone reads this, tomorrow someone reads this, tomorrow someone reads this, and it's done.
You can't make a decision.
You can't.
You're confused.
Yeah. So that is how we're going. That is why as young people we need to generate and sustain communication and questions for politicians. As a filmmaker now, I decided I'm going to do something very stupid. I call it stupid because I've not found even a single person who wants to join the initiative. I'm doing something called Elimika. Elimika is be educated or get learned or something. Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying it's stupid because I went down, took a camera, took a group of 5 actors. We went and read the Constitution and took our camera that we went to a hotel and started discussing it randomly. Katiba inasema hivi, chapter 6, leadership integrity. It says this. We discussed it, and when you're discussing that, you find the guys who are drinking their kachai and their everything get to be interested. And because you've read it, now you start elaborating back to them. No. And we've done that. We've done 4 of them. We've done one on commissions. We've done one on leadership integrity and one on representation of the people. But you know, at the end of the day, it's costly. So we're still trying to get our hands into some cash to go on with it. Because I've realized one thing. The politicians will never come and tell Kenyans that, for example, in chapter 7 of the Constitution, which talks about representation of the people, it's very clear that if you've been charged with any electoral offense in the last 5 years, you can never vie for any position. They will never come and tell you that. They will never come and tell you that. Because they know that almost a whole lot of them have got issues, malpractices in the last 5 years in elections. So they never want you to know that. That's what I'm saying. It's stupid because people don't believe that it can work actually in Kenya. But I did it in Mwiki. I did it in Nandora. And I realized that, you know what, people are actually getting interested in this. And I look forward to having that more and more and more and more. Mostly for the common Kenyan who does not have this information. Back in Siaya, back in Wajia, back in Isiolo, uko Meru, uko Chini. And I only wish that we could find a way that all this could go out. That is the only way we're going to interrogate our politicians. That's going to interrogate them, and that's going to force them into action. Because, I believe kitu moja, and it's not inciting, and sorry, it's not inciting. But I'm saying the same thing that some youth saw in Egypt and in Tunisia when a degree holder set himself on fire because the Kanjo were arresting him and all that. It's not far away from Kenya. It's not, because of one reason. You know, there's something called pain that builds up. You ask yourself one day that this guy who's always been silent, mbona leo aliamua akaua bibi yake na watoto, he's been a nice guy, mbona aliamua akajinyonga. It's frustration. It builds up in you. You put your trust in someone, they end up messing each and every time. You try and do something, they mess you up every time. One day you explode, and it becomes worse. The Kenyan public has been very easy people. Moi does this, we forget and forgive. Oh, who does this, we forget. Oh, who does it, we don't forget. We overlook. We overlook them. But deep down in us, there are things that we're like, if that 5-point-something billion shillings was not lost in Goldenberg, maybe a road will be here. Cool. If Anglo-Leasing did not take that much it took, we could have had this. If the Triton saga did not take this, we could have had this. These things are building inside Kenya. And one day, If something goes slightly wrong, kidogo, we'll find people in this country will stand up and will say, you know what, enough is enough. And I don't hope that the enough is enough that we're going to say as Kenyans one day will be violent. I hope, because at the end of the day, let it not be violent.
Of course, I'm even telling guys, you know, violence never helps anything.
It will never help anything because it will leave us
even if you want to change the system,
yeah,
you decide to go the violent way, you won't change anything.
You won't
In
change
any case,
anything.
you'll mess up the country.
Yes.
So it's about taking positive steps.
That
and
one day,
we can change it positively.
let me tell you how this one day is going to work. That one day might be in December this year. That one day might be on 4th of March next year. As a young Kenyan out there, that one day that you've been talking about, siku moja yani, our politicians, yani siku moja nataka tu yani, hiyo siku moja inakam. Na kama unanisikia, unaniwatch, hiyo siku moja ikikam, ingia kwa wallet yako, toa hiyo ID, toa hiyo kura, enda kwa ile line, na ujiulize, napigia future ama napigia sahi. That's for me, is it?
Roy.
Yes.
Kuna issue moja wangani noma sana country. Kwanza unajua like me, what I understand is it started from back the days. And it's after our independence. You know, we were together as Kenyans fighting for land from the colonialists. Unajua? Tulikuwa tumeungana pamoja. But as soon as we set in a government, that's when things started going wrong, you know. People wakaanza kujisarau, mimi ni Msapere, mimi ni Mjaka, mimi ni Mluya, mimi ni Mkale, mimi ni Mturkana, unajua, mimi ni Mcoast, mimi ni I don't know Michigan or what. Like all the communities, mimi ni Msomali, mimi ni Mnandi, mimi ni Mborana and stuff. Mimi nataka yani as young people. Mimi na wewe tulijuana hata sikuwa najua, nilijua jina yako ya pili leo nikikuuliza kwa sure. I didn't care where you come from. All I cared is we can share and exchange ideas and how we can make our country better because we're gonna make it together.
Yeah.
Tutakilaje hii myth? Design ikienda ocha kwetu, wasa kwetu waniambia aje hatuwezi votia ule jamaa. Si Msapere ama anachukia Wasapere. Unaona? Wewe ukienda kwenyu, hawakwambia hatuwezi votia ule msee juu nini? Wanakuambia hatutavutia huyu mtu because issue zake ziko down. Unaona? I don't know what we'll do as young people because as in me so long as tunadu business na wewe ama tunafanya shughuli na wewe na inatujenga si wawili, I don't really care where you come from. That's none of my business. Where you come from, hiyo ni shughuli yako. Let me tell you. How are we going to change?
Number one, I think what needs to be done for this country to weed out tribalism is first redraw the whole thing that is called Kenya and boundaries in this country.
Why should we? I think we did the revision.
No. We need to. Ukisema wewe unatoka Kisumu unasema Nyanyaji, kuna wewe kutoka wapi? Wewe ni Mjaluo. Ukisema unatoka Nyeri unajua wewe ni? Ukisema unatoka Isiolo wewe ni? Msomali. Ukisema unatoka Coast wewe ni Mijikenda. The people who drew this messed us up because they made sure a specific ethnic group stayed in a specific space, and that alone developed the ethnicity. That alone developed tribalism because you're born in Nyanza, go to school in Nyanza. All your mentality thinking is come from Kisumu, you come to Nairobi and realize kumbe kuna watu wengine. There's that stereotyping. That's number one. I think something needs to be done, and we can allow a Luo like me, I'm not speaking, a Luo like me, to actually decide that I'm gonna live in Garissa. It's a right, yes, it's a right. You have a right to live anywhere you want in this country, but you know the mentality of you coming from Nyanza to go to live in Garissa will not augur well guys in Garissa because they know that is their ancestral land. You know this issue of ancestral land. This is our land. Even the constitution and the shrines, you know, it's our ancestral land. You know, they have all these issues. But I'm coming to a solution. Solution is, if that won't work, then as young people, let's intermarry. Let's intermarry. Let me marry someone from Mombasa, a lady from maybe whose father is half Banjun and mother is half Arab. Then I'll marry her. We live somewhere.
You have to love someone to marry them. So
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. Let's not start. Let's come out of this thing of just thinking that it's only ladies from our area who can.
You know, I know of
wives.
guys who took girlfriends from different communities, and the parents never accepted them. And they are forced. You know, like
it comes to a point.
Like,
I'm sorry, this is not disrespectful to parents, by the way. I'm not disrespectful. I know I lost my parents at a young age. I've grown up without them, but I'm not disrespecting people who have lived with their parents until now. Inafika time, mtu akifika 18 years old, by the way, when you're adult. And as an adult, you're allowed to do something called independent thinking. Parents, please, let your kids make their choices. If I meet a woman from Turkana who's, I believe we can get along and I believe we can help each other, allow me to marry her and let us build a family. Don't start telling me, oh, you know, to my tribe. Because when you tell me about tribe, that's when I'll give birth to a kid, knowing that Gukana Shosho, wanatoka Nyeri, ama Gukana Shosho wanatoka place. If I have married a woman from Turkana, for example, we give her to a kid. She knows Siaya ni home, she knows Turkana is home. If that kid of mine also one day, upon a time, gets married to a girl from Meru, you know, where are you from? I don't know. Me, my grandfather is Luo, the other grandfather is Turkana. And now you know, work it out. But the main part of it all, forget about it. As you said it, we can forget about everything and just realize one thing. We can never make it without each other. We can never make it without each other. I'm very, very happy that I was born a Kenyan of the Luo descent. I am very, very happy. I thank God for that. But you know what? My landlord is Kikuyu. Very few Luos own houses in Nairobi. So if I was supposed to be tribal, then I would have to look for a Luo's house in Nairobi. That's the pattern. The other thing is, we must realize that we need each other in this country. I'm Luo. My landlord is Kikuyu. And I can tell you there are very few Luos who own houses in Nairobi, rental houses. And if I was supposed to start being a tribalist and say I want to live in a Luo's house, I'll spend a whole 1 year looking for a house owned by a Luo. My landlord also realizes that not so many Kikuyus in Nairobi actually do rentals. Yeah. So if we can have that small mentality, kuna mama wa mboga pale nje, kuna mtu wa shop pale nje, kuna mtu wa kuweka viatu pale nje, yeye ushona, kuna kahoteli mahali hapo wenda kudishi, na kuna kapub wengine yao upitia. Leo fanya survey, hii mtaa yako tu ama mtaa yangu, enda mtaa yako fanya survey, utarealize hawa watu wote wenye wewe interact nao on a daily basis, kiatu imeraruka umepeleka pale, ama uko nenda job unaenda kupigwa rangi, uingie pale kwa hoteli, urudi jioni ununue kama chungwa hapa, uingie kwa matri, uende kwa shop kununua credit. Believe me, utapata hawa watu wote hiyo chain, they're not from your tribe only. So once we realize that, booster move on. And that is one big important issue that the youth need to realize. We need to realize that as much as I'm Luo, as much as I'm Kikuyu, as much as I'm Kalenjin, saa zile I'm a big fish. Wanapigana pale juu, wanajifanya kupigana. Wanajifanya kupigana hapo juu.
Yeah, true.
Wanajifanya.
They always come together when it's convenient for them.
Yes.
To do that. Yes.
Wanajifanya kupigana pale juu, wameka chini, unasikia vile wanatusiana, nini. Wao tusiana.
Mbele ya vio, mbele ya TV, wao tusiana.
Uko. My friend, hao mafamilia kuna wengine wako married. Wameoana, wanafanya mabiashara pamoja.
Biz kubwa.
Mabiz bigi pamoja. Sasa mimi na wewe tuanze kubishana juu yao. Juu ya. And I can give you examples. I was just this week. There's an issue I've been trying to rectify in our industry, as I told you. The issue of the Kenya film policy and stuff and other things. I had a chance of meeting the chairperson of the Energy and Communication committee in parliament. And he had the courtesy of inviting me to the parliamentary restaurant. On that day, there were 2 press conferences within Parliament building. One was some MPs from ODM giving a statement on Uhuru Kenyatta. The other one was MPs from the PNU side giving a statement on why Raila need to address the Miguna issue. And it was so vicious, you know, if you watch it on TV, you see the division. But I can tell you, on the table I was seated, I was having lunch, oxtail. And here was James Reggae, the chairperson of the committee. And here was Ferdinand Waititu, who is a member of the committee. And the 2 of them were from separate conferences fighting each other. And I sat down and I was like, you know what, both of you guys are being fooled. Believe me, kama majut na young Kenyans and Kenyans general wanaweza realize. Saa zile jamaa ameiba pesa ya Triton, ameiba kama yeye. Saa zile ameiba pesa ya mahindi, amekula kaye na familia yake. Saa zile pesa za free primary ime lost, ni mtoi wako ndio anakuwa affected. Because mtoi wako endaga public primary school. Wao endaga ma private. Na majuu, wao endaga out of the country. Saa zile unasikia gati wewe umekuwa msiku na dispensary, pesa ya NHIF imeibiwa. Mazimi na kwambia jamaa ufly kwenda US. Ama jamaa endaga India for treatment. Sikuta realize hiyo. Ta come down na tukwe conscious that seme, by the way, it's not about them, it's about us. So tusikue na position yenye kama my youth, kama Kenyans in general, tutakuwa balkanized, tube burdens za mtu. Because na nasema, na nitasema tena, saa hizi president wa Kenya ni Kibaki. He's a Kikuyu. Both Wakikuyu wanalala njaa hii nchi. Wakikuyu wana manyumba kwa hii nchi. They're the IDPs. Kuna mazee story majiga ziko central and everything. But Kibaki still a Kikuyu. Raila Odinga is the prime minister of this country. Jamaa ako na ofisi mbani, unaona kwa TV ofisi, una envy, unataka kukaa yeye. But Wajaluo wanalala njaa, Wajaluo wana medical care, Wajaluo wana, you know, it's, yeah, and a key beach, man. You know, it's not about them.
It's about us.
It's about us. What are we doing to make them accountable? Because I don't believe it. Kama Wakikuyu, kama Kibaki ni Mkikuyu, ama tuseme kama the Kenyatas ni Wakikuyu, mbona kuna ma-accused ma-IDP nchi? Na hizo maland zote. Kama kusema kweli Wajaluo, Raila ni Mjaluo, na hizo kampuni zote ana own, mbona Wajaluo ni ma-jobless? Are we seeing this? Yeah. So if we can start thinking in those angles, we will never ever talk about tribalism. Because both these guys go up there, mara once.
Tukilala njaa, tumbo yangu isemi wewe ni msapere ndio maana unalala njaa.
Exactly.
Ama ati yako wewe ni mjana unalala njaa. Sisi wote tunalala njaa, si ndio?
Sisi unado, ukiwa na pesa,